Hey everybody, welcome to Cocktails in the War Room. It is 8:30 and every night at 8:30 we meet right here in my war room and we hang out because, well, we're all looking for people to hang out with because, well, we're locked in our houses for another day, for another week, until next month. So every night at 8:30 we meet on my Facebook page and what's up, Jeff? How are you, Ron? And we hang out, talk about the day, find out what's going on. Hey, Fred! What's going on, Lou? And we get connected, find out what's going on with everybody. The first thing I want to know, what's up, Deborah? Do you guys all have power? The storms are crazy. Steven says, second time in the war room for me. Well, welcome back, Steven. Scott says, yep, I got power. Let's see. Tom says, how you doing? I'm good. Hi, Christy. Hey, Rob. Congratulations, by the way. One of my AAF to Afghanistan guys just had a new baby girl, which I can't imagine the stress level when you're trying to bring a beautiful baby into this world in the middle of all of this right now. But she is so pretty. She's so cute. Hey, Gina. Fred says we were without power for 18 hours on Friday. Well, there you go. Hi, Doris. A bunch of my skydiving friends are on tonight. What's up, Rich? I miss you guys so much. Kevin says he's got power in Lynn. That's good. So does Keith. No power in Marshfield, says Steven. Power in Saugus. So a lot of people, I mean, the wind was nuts today. We have power over near Leominster Hospital, says Gina. No power for me. That was an intense storm, says Susie. Billy says Braintree has power. So if you're watching this from outside of New England, we had some pretty serious wind and heavy rain that came through. Nothing obviously like what has been sweeping through the states down south with the tornadoes and stuff. But there were like 65, 70 mile an hour winds along the coast, which is just crazy. So, Mistress, you're the best from the pizza guy. Many time ticket winner. What's up, Jason? So there's a lot of people that don't have power in Massachusetts right now, which is scary as hell because if you stockpiled food in your freezer and you don't have a generator, now you're worried about all of the food that you bought that you have in a freezer that you can't keep outside. So Joe says Winchington is good. Power in Auburn, says Mark. No power in Bellingham. Power in Sterling. Wayne says they just got their power back. Laura says that was crazy. I'm in Worcester. Yeah, the storm was nuts. So I hope you got power. And if you don't, well, thank you for joining me on your phone. Keep it charged. Go out to the car if you need to, but cheers. I timed getting Wednesday outside to pee right in the middle of this lull in the storm. Like, it was pouring and then it let up for a second. And I was like, you need to go back. You need to go outside. And she was like, don't make me. And I was like, you're going outside. And then she was outside for 5 minutes. I went to see how the garden was holding up through the storm. And my pea towers tipped over. The squash tunnel stayed, but the pea towers tipped over. And then as soon as Wednesday peed, you could see the rain coming again. And we ran back in the house, so I hope she doesn't shit on the rug. What are we drinking tonight? Copper mug, Moscow Mules. There you go. Roger says Phillipston had power all day. That's good for you. Dennis says I just had 2 mules. Well, I gotta catch up. PJ says Fitchburg is good. Gardner is good, said Gerald. Wind took out branches that I was going to cut down anyway. Well, congratulations, Tom. There you go. You saved yourself some effort. Power in Leominster, obviously, Richard says. Cheers, Carrie says, Will. So I still have Wednesday's birthday balloon, by the way. I blew the damn thing up. I'm just going to let it sit for a while. However, Wednesday is not joining me tonight, but fake Wednesday is. How awesome is that? I have a fake Wednesday. She usually hangs out with the Muppets, but I thought I would bring fake Wednesday in. So, like, she can just hang out with me tonight. And I wanted to show you guys this awesome Black Crow shirt that I dug out of my archives today. I wore it partially just because, well, I love the Black Crows and I have 1,000 shirts, but also because the colors match my hair right now. Killer. So how cool is this shirt? I love this thing. It says Remedy down the bottom, so obviously it's a Southern Harmony era Black Crow shirt, but there's no concert dates on it and there's no year on it. So I saw the band, I don't know, probably 25 times that tour, so I don't know which one I bought it at, but I love this shirt. And I can't believe how good a condition it's in. It was like down in the bottom of this Foot Locker that I keep all my shirts in. So what's up, Nikki? We need to make a drinking game for your show, Will says. The whole show is called Cocktails in the War Room. The whole reason we're getting together is to have a drink. How much more interactive do you need the drinking to be? Jay says Holyoke has power. Power in the Berkshire, says Thomas. Love the pillow of Wednesday, says Elsa. I know, right? This is like the fake one. She doesn't make any of the noises. I will tell you guys though, remember from her birthday party that Stingray that I bought her? And it's got that like crinkly stuff inside so it makes a ton of noise. That's turning out to be her favorite toy of like anything she's gotten in a while. I was watching television at like midnight last night and she got like a jolt of energy, grabbed that thing, was squeaking it and smashing it into my face for like 20 minutes with that crinkly stuff inside the wings of the Stingray. I had to turn the TV up and she just kept smashing. I would take it and throw it across the room. She would go and get it, jump back up on the thing, and then smash my face. And yeah, she loves it. What was that thing that I just saw? We drink every time you say squash tower. I know it sounds dirty, but it's actually a tower that grows squash. Fine, if you want to drink every time I say squash tower, you go right on ahead. Hi, Pete. Thank you, Keith, for your daily blueberry cobbler mention. Okay, so my friend Kathy is watching. Hi, Kathy. So this morning, Kathy, who is a friend of mine from high school, she made me something awesome that I wanted to show to you guys because I told you a couple weeks ago that I made an appointment to go and give blood. Well, my blood donation appointment is tomorrow, and Kathy wanted to make sure that I was going to be protected when I went to go give blood tomorrow. So she ordered kick-ass purple fabric, and she made me a mask. Now, the inside of the mask is white, and I have lipstick on right now, so I don't want to put it on because I don't want to smear it all. But how cool is this? It's got the elastic that goes behind the ear. She sewed it for me. So now I have a mask when I'm going to go and give blood tomorrow. I'm pretty sure that the Red Cross will give you a mask if you show up without one. But, and it's got the pocket inside so you could put like a filter in it and whatever. But I wanted to show Kathy's handiwork because it's awesome and it's custom ordered fabric for me and she kicks ass. So how cool is this thing? It kind of matches my hair. It's very like 80s, like Nagel print, purple. Like I guarantee right now, if Prince were alive, he would be wearing a mask like this. Who am I kidding? Prince probably wore masks like this when he was alive. But anyway, I just wanted you guys to see my mask, so I'm going to go give blood tomorrow. So thank you, Kathy, because I know she's watching right now, and it's very cool. Ooh, I almost erased all of the comments there. So how are you guys holding up today? Obviously, we have the storm. There's been a lot of stuff going on in the news. I do want to apologize because the other night we were talking about the Astros and we were debating whether or not that story was true about them forfeiting their World Series title. And it turned out to not be true, but all of the articles that I read about it that said it was true, they either pulled them down or took a ration of shit on Twitter. So I apologize. Some people were saying it's not true. Some people were saying it was showing up on Google. So I don't know what happened. But speaking of sports, the XFL says they've lost tens of millions of dollars due to the coronavirus and that they are filing for bankruptcy and they will not return in 2021. So I thought that was crazy. Did you see the story about the bears in Yosemite National Park? That they're like taking over, that normally because of all of the traffic, that there are very narrow pathways for a lot of the bears to get around certain areas of the park. And right now the bears are just walking down the street because there's nobody there. and they're having a grand old time. And then more importantly, for anyone that's ever been to Los Angeles, you know how much the traffic sucks and how it's always hazy. Have you seen the pictures of Los Angeles? It's a perfectly blue sky. There is no smog in Los Angeles. It's unbelievable how beautiful the sky over Los Angeles is right now. Obviously, it's because people aren't working, but I've never seen the sky over LA look as amazing as it looks. So it's pretty amazing that all of these things are happening because everybody's kind of staying inside the house. This I thought was interesting. Roger Stone, the guy that ended up in jail and he was friends with the president, whatever. He says that Bill Gates, I hadn't heard this conspiracy theory yet. Roger Stone says that Bill Gates may have created the coronavirus so that he could microchip people because he's trying to either find the vaccine or whatever. And I thought the conspiracy theory was hilarious because pretty much every document and spreadsheet that you've made in the last 20 years and almost every computer that is functioning right now has his software on it. So I don't know if he needs to microchip anyone because he already knows all your shit, dude. Like, he owns Microsoft. Seriously. Also today, it was announced that Massachusetts has joined forces with New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, Delaware, and Rhode Island for a COVID-19 Regional Advisory Committee. It is a multi-state council that is going to work together to figure out how to get everyone back to work and restore the economy, because what they're talking about is that this might have to get rolled out regionally based on the coronavirus cases. I mean, obviously New England is a bunch of small states kind of stuck together, go back to work, and then Massachusetts to not go back to work. I don't know what's going on with my phone, but that was just weird. I got a weird message that maybe it was buffering or something. Hold on, I'm going to check my network. Talking about Bill Gates, and now all of a sudden I have a network connection. Thanks a lot, Roger Stone, for your conspiracy theory. So Massachusetts is joined with a bunch of other states in the Northeast, and they are going to work together to kind of monitor each other's cases. Speaking of cases, it was announced today, Massachusetts has 26,867 cases with 844 confirmed fatalities. Nationally, there have been over 572,500 cases with over 23,000 confirmed fatalities with the coronavirus so far. I know it's skipping. I don't know why it's doing that. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on. I apologize. Hold on. Let me see. All right. Is that better? Maybe. And she froze. What about now? Is it better now? Let me know if it's better now. What's up, Scruffy? I just closed a bunch of crap that was running on my phone. Maybe that's what it was. So that got announced today. This article I thought was really funny. Forbes magazine published an article that says, this is the headline: Americans are overeating, drinking, smoking pot, playing video games, and watching porn during quarantine. I was like, yeah, no shit. Basically, what else is there to do? So good on your end, Drea. All right, awesome. Yes, it's better now, says Elsa. Billy says it's fine now. It's because I had too much crap running in the background of my phone. Sorry. I don't know. I had Waze running on the background of my phone. Like, I haven't left the house and needed Waze in I don't know how long. Yes, Richie, I can hear you now. Yes, fine now, says Jared. All right, awesome. So anyway, according to Forbes, we're basically partaking in all of the deadly sins simultaneously while we're in quarantine, which I can't argue with that. Yes, that's exactly what's happening. Cheers to that. Cheers to us over drinking right now because we're locked in the house. There is some sad news today. I thought this was really sad. For anyone that is outside of New England, you are not going to have any idea who this person is. But obviously to everyone in New England, we all know who he is. Bernie Rubin, better known as Bernie from Bernie and Phil's. All of those TV commercials. he died due to complications from the coronavirus. It came out today. And this is a guy that we've watched for decades on TV with his wife, selling furniture. And I just thought it was so sad. It's like, I never met the guy. I didn't know him. All I know is his TV commercials, which I always thought were really funny. And he had the thickest Boston accent ever. But I was really, really sad to hear that Bernie Rubin died. So can we cheers to Bernie? Because he's a local legend around here. So it's very sad. So to Bernie, we loved you and Phil. Thank you for making us laugh in your commercials. And, that it just, I know how tight-knit that family is because the whole family was on the commercials all the time. And, we've talked about it a bunch of time. I was just talking about it with my friend Rob, who just had a beautiful baby daughter. And this would be a time where the family would gather and the grandparents would get to have those first pictures with their granddaughter. And nobody can celebrate those family things. And it's the same thing in reverse when you lose someone. It's like, how are you supposed to mourn the loss of someone when you can't even have calling hours and a funeral and be able to eulogize them and to have the religious services you want to have? And it's just so sad. I just feel bad for any family that is going through any kind of loss right now, because you just can't process the loss. I mean, there's a reason why human beings have funeral rituals, because you need them for closure, and to be denied that right now it's just so sad. I did hear some people say that maybe the government should have a national day of mourning as things start to get, quote, back to normal, so that everyone has a day to kind of publicly commemorate the loss of their loved ones. And I don't know, maybe that is something that everybody needs. But I thought that was really sad. So Bernie Rubin passed away. Some interesting music news. If you're looking for live music, Miles Kennedy is going to do a live acoustic performance and discussion on the American Songwriter page. That's going to be at 9:00 on the 15th, which is a couple days from now, obviously. And then starting tomorrow, Sully from Godsmack is going to host a show twice a week on his YouTube channel. It is going to be called Hometown Sessions. It's going to be in conjunction with the Under Your Scars, or the Scars Foundation. And it's going to be Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. live on his YouTube channel. And I thought that was really cool. And the first one is tomorrow, so you can check that out as well. And if you are celebrating your birthday today, cheers to you. Happy birthday. Wendy says it's also Metallica Monday. That's right. Every Monday, Metallica shows off a different concert that they recorded over the course of their illustrious career. Metallica was always one of those bands that was really good about documenting and videotaping and recording all of their performances, like Pearl Jam was. And so they've been doing Metallica Mondays live, which is really cool as well. But if today is your birthday, you share your birthday with Al Green, Max Weinberg, Aaron Lewis, and Hillel Slovak was born on this date in history. So happy birthday to all of you guys. And also, if we can cheers to one more person, we lost Chi Cheng from the Deftones on this date in 2013. So to Chi and to everybody celebrating birthdays today, including Aaron Lewis, Max Weinberg, Al Green, and Hillel Slovak. So happy birthday to everybody whose birthday is today. Scott says it's his son Brandon's birthday. He's 30. Scott, you have a 30-year-old kid. Holy crap. Let's see. Happy birthday to me, 28-year-old daughter Nicole, mom of 3. That's from Lisa. Kiss was too, Billy said. Yeah, there are certain bands that really got into documenting their careers early on. And Kiss was one of them. The Grateful Dead encouraged everybody else to document all of their concerts. William says, my kid's 24. I have a 2-year-old pug. And a fake pug, too. What else did I want to talk to you guys about today? Oh, my War Room artifact. I'll show you guys this. All of the cigar aficionados are going to be so mad at me, and I am so sorry. But somebody gave me this in Iraq in 2016, and I kept it in the package. I'm assuming that the cigar isn't good anymore, but I thought it was really cool because it has the Operation Iraqi Freedom label on it, and the cigar is still like in the test tube. I never opened it or anything, but I never smoked it just because I always wanted to save it. And so I saved it, and now it's probably not good anymore. So I don't know. But it was one of those things that even in Afghanistan, there was like this plywood shack where guys would go and smoke a cigar at the end of the night or after a mission. And I was really honored that some of the guys in Iraq gave me one of their cigars, and I just kept it. I didn't want to smoke it because I wanted to bring it home with me. And then I was like, oh, maybe I'll smoke it, on a good occasion or whatever. And then after a while, it was like, now I'm just never going to smoke it. And now I just have it. Rick says, awesome souvenirs. I know, I brought back a bunch of stuff, and it's like now I just have like all of this stuff in my war room, and now I kind of feel bad that I wasted a perfectly good cigar. But Chris says it's still good. You think if it's still sealed in this glass thing, it's still good? I mean, I got it in 2006. There's no humidor thing in there or whatever, but Steven says prized possessions. Lou says if it's sealed, it should be okay, but it's 14 years old. It's been in this tube for 14 years. I don't know. There's no like moisture buildup on it or anything. Joe says it's sealed, it's good. I don't know. I don't know if I want to smoke it though. Like, then you have to decide like what is worthy of you busting out the cigar that you got in Iraq that you brought all the way home and held onto it for 14 years. Like, when I get a new job, when I launch something, like Sean says, smoke it. I'm not going to smoke it right now. I don't know, but I just have it, and I wanted to show it to you guys because keep it just the way that it is, Steven said. See, that's what I thought too. Steven says, age is like booze. Mariah says, do it. Don't know, don't smoke. And that's good advice, Stephanie. That's like life advice right there. Profound life advice. Don't know what it is, don't smoke it. Kind of makes sense to me. Save that bad boy, says Joseph. Don't smoke it. Save it, says Trisha. It's probably stale, says Jared. I tend to agree with you. I sincerely doubt that the seal, made it all this way back. But I know that there's a lot of guys that served over there that got these kind of things and like didn't save them, or they smoked them and never, brought anything home or whatever. And I have like all of these weird little collectible things. As you can tell from my concert shirt collection, I'm a pack rat. I'm not a hoarder. I'm not going to be buried alive under all of my collections, but there are certain things that I have always collected, and I'm a very sentimental person, which is why I bawled my eyes out like the last couple days that we were on the air at AAF, because I don't know, I love memories, and I love having things that remind me of amazing times in my life, or remind me of amazing people in my life. And so there are some people that aren't sentimental at all, and I'm one of those people that finds sentimental value. I mean, last night I showed you guys a bullet casing, and it had sentimental value to me. So it just kind of shows you, like, I save everything. I'm kind of a pack rat. It's why I needed a lot of shelves in the war room, because I have a lot of crap. It's going to age good if a victory day happens, you can give it to an Iraq war vet and say, smoke it. All right, well, there you go. What's next for you? I would think you would fit right in on 96.9, says Daryl. I say it every night to the people that watch Cocktails in the War Room every night. I apologize if I'm repetitive, but obviously there are people that either didn't hear me answer the question, or they don't get to hang out with us every night like some people do. The entertainment industry is basically shut down, and so trying to find my next thing has been very difficult right now. And so I'm trying to get a lot of things in order. I'm almost done with my resume, which is good, and I'm working on a bunch of other things. I've had a lot of conference calls and calls with people, and I've been working on some things, some computer things, and just stuff that I never had time to do before. But until things open up and start to get rolling again, it's really hard for anyone in any industry, but especially the entertainment business, to try and go out and, find your next thing when the whole business is shut down. And radio in particular has been laying a bunch of people off because advertising is down. And so, I'm doing everything that I can, but it's proving to be very difficult to kind of nail down the next thing, because right now anybody that's laid off can tell you that, it's really hard to go on a job interview or whatever. So, Kim says, don't worry, when one door closes, another one opens. Well, that's what I'm hoping. So we'll see. I don't know. You can count on us for help. Thank you very much, Billy. And trust me, as soon as I know what's going on, as soon as I have something good to tell you, I'll probably announce it right here with you guys. So you'll be the first ones to know. So there you go. Hey, Bill. Jeff wants to know, do I watch Ozark? No. Everyone's told me I'm an asshole for not watching it. And now that I have the time, I should probably binge it. Scott wants to know, is your resume an audio tape? Actually, you usually do both. So you would have like a printed resume that has the same stuff as everybody else's resume on it. Your job description, all of the different softwares and skill sets you have, your college info. And then you would normally have a demo tape that has stuff from your career on it too. So you should probably have both. And I'm working on both right now. Christian says, I'm the head chef at a catering company. I get it. See, Christian knows. Anybody that works in food service or any kind of event, anything, or it's just, what are you going to do? You're just going to kind of chill and just wait it out. And that's what I'm doing right now. Hey, you drove a truck before. You want to drive a concrete mixer? You would be badass, good money, and full bennies. I don't have my commercial driver's license anymore. So I would have to go and get recertified if I were going to do that. But I've made jokes about, wanting to go and get my license again. I really loved driving trucks. Like, I loved the traveling aspect of it. I loved the camaraderie when I was a roadie and like hanging around with all the guys and building the gear and kind of stepping back and watching the show as it was going on and being like, oh, I helped to build that. And for anybody that works with their hands and builds something, that there's a certain amount of, like yesterday, on a small scale yesterday, when I finished the work on the garden, I was able to step back and kind of admire it and say, wow, look at what I just spent all of my time doing. That's one of the hardest things about what happened with WAAF is that, not only did I lose the job, but that the station's not there for me to even admire anymore. So it's like someone shook my Etch-a-Sketch, It's like they took the Etch-a-Sketch and I spent 29 years drawing this intricate thing and then they went and put it down. And having a job where you're creating something, where you're building something that you can step back, like an iron worker can drive by the skyscrapers that they help to build, or, a construction worker can be like, I built that house right there. And you drive by it year after year and be like, see that? I built that. Or, I don't have that sense of accomplishment that I know. It's like I have great memories and audio tapes and interviews and awesome pictures and videos and stuff, but there's something about actually physically manifesting your hard work into something tangible. And, being able to kind of do that with shows and driving trucks and all of that stuff was very cool. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. It wasn't a job for you because you loved doing what you did, says Michael. It's 100% accurate. And whatever it is that I do, I'm going to need to, I've been spoiled by having a job that I didn't think was a job, that it was something I loved and was passionate about. And when you lose that, it's like a death. It's like when you're madly in love with someone and they die, those are hard shoes to fill. And you got to go and find someone that you can love just as much. And that's the hard part. My next job is going to have big shoes to fill because I had an amazing opportunity for a lot of years. It wasn't easy all the time, but I loved every minute of it. So But we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right. I showed you guys my cigar. I showed you my awesome mask that Kathy made for me to go give blood tomorrow. Let's find I did not pick out a drink recipe tonight, so I'm just going to stick my finger in the page like I've done a few times and see what it gives us. So, nope, we did that one already. Oh, here's one. Oh, it's a song title. Black Gold. A half an ounce of triple sec, a half an ounce of amaretto, a half an ounce of Bailey's, a half an ounce of hazelnut liqueur, and 6 ounces of coffee, a dash of cinnamon schnapps, whipped cream for topping, shaved chocolate to garnish, and a cinnamon stick. This sounds good. Pour the triple sec, amaretto, Bailey's, and hazelnut liqueur into a liqueur coffee glass and then stir in the coffee and cinnamon schnapps. Top it with the whipped cream and sprinkle on the chocolate. Serve with a cinnamon stick as a stirrer. That sounds fantastic for tailgating in the fall. If we're ever allowed to leave the house again, and if football happens and we're allowed to actually hang out together, Black Gold, triple sec, amaretto, Bailey's, hazelnut liqueur, hot coffee, cinnamon schnapps, whipped cream, and a cinnamon stick. Fuck yeah, that sounds delicious. So that's called Black Gold. So there you go. I seriously doubt that's what they wrote the song about, but it sounds delicious and sounds dangerous. That's exactly what Mike said. Melissa says, yummo. Jeff says, yummy. Chocolate raspberry martinis are my favorite. Ooh. Trisha said, oh my God, I want 3 of those, right? And the thing about something that's got booze and caffeine in it, like, like Jaeger bombs or like Jaeger and Red Bull or whatever, is that you're getting drunk and more hyper all the time. And after a while, you're drunk and awake and like ready to do stuff and break shit and commit misdemeanors. Hell yeah to the Black Gold. Yeah, that sounds good, Elsa, right? Can't have it. I'm allergic to hazelnuts. Oh, that sucks. You'd have to supplement that with something else then. But the rest of it, oh no, amaretto has nuts in it too, right? Does that have hazelnuts in it too? I'll stick with the tequila sunrises, says Steven. Jaeger bombs, laughing. Look, there are many, many, many years of Jaeger bombs that there are a lot of memories and a lot of things that I forgot that happened over the years at AAF that are directly tied to Jägermeister. Like the late 90s and early 2000s, Jägermeister was the blame for everything. We were like, what happened last night? Where'd you go? Jaeger. Oh my God, what did you guys do? Did you get in trouble? Jaeger. Oh my God, I don't remember anything that I did last night. Where did you guys end up and where are your pants? Jaeger. Like it was literally Jaeger. Exactly. I want to remind you guys about all of these resources too. I like having them at your disposal if you need them. Massachusetts resources is mass.gov/COVID-19. That's just for Massachusetts though. The number for SafeLink for anyone that's having any kind of domestic issues right now, SafeLink is 877-785-2020. 877-785-2020. I'll say it that way. The National Suicide Prevention Hotline is 1-800-273-8255. And you can also go onto their website, suicidepreventionlifeline.org. And then the Nursing Home Family Resource Line, this is also just for Massachusetts, is 617-660-5399. And that's a resource for people that have family members that are inside elderly care facilities, nursing homes, rehab places where you have no access to get inside anymore, that there's a family resource line for that as well. Has anybody talked to anyone over the last few weeks? I know that I, give you these numbers all of the time, but have you guys talked to someone that has been really down? I have a couple times, friends of mine that have reached out, and I feel so bad that, some people are having a really hard time right now, that they're either separated from their family members or, I felt useless as a friend because, Karina's putting the New Hampshire resources link right there. Thank you. I do not have the Red Cross hotline, Eric, at my fingertips, but if somebody could comment on the Red Cross hotline and put that in the comments, that would be great as well. I felt really useless as a friend, having conversations with friends that normally I would have like driven over to their house and been like, hey, let's talk, or why don't you meet me for a drink or whatever. Richie says, does myself count? Yeah, it counts. Like, you know, anybody that knows me, anybody that's friends with me, like I'm a hugger and I want to, you know, be there for friends. And it's been really difficult when you know that a friend of yours is having a hard time and, you know, you can't be there to comfort them because they're either isolated or they're having family stuff, or like we were talking about before, like if someone loses a family member or something, it's so hard to be there to console them and support them. Rick says, please don't touch your face, Carrie. I am the face police. Look, I'm in my house. It's just me and Wednesday. I can touch my face if I want to. I can lick the countertops if I want to. There's nobody here to give me anything. Anything that comes in from outside, like the mask. When my friend Kathy dropped it off, I've got those UV lights. I stuck it in the UV light and I spray everything down and wipe everything down. But look, I'm wearing makeup. Do you think I didn't touch my face 10,000 times already, making all those weird eyeliner faces? Like, I've already touched the face. Karina says, yes, I'm a social worker in a psychiatric facility in New Hampshire. Love you all. And yes, it's hard professionally and personally. Yeah, people, I mean, we've talked about the people that work in mental health right now, and they're doing everything that they can, but obviously they're doing that all remotely as well. And, you know, it's like, what do you say to someone besides things are going to get better and you're going to be okay. And there are, you know, I'm here for you if you need somebody to talk to. I mean, Mike and Becky said, ear moth, I touch my face. I want you to want me. Oh God, now that friggin' I touch myself song is going to be in my head. I had to brush my teeth 3 times. Let me see. Just took my nightly selfie. Oh, great. I'm sure I was making some kind of weird eyeliner face when you did that. Kathy says, I can't hug my coworkers at the doctor's office. It's very hard. It is very hard. Chris says, I have power, but spotty internet. You're freezing a lot and the audio gets a little distorted. I apologize for that. Pam, we were talking about Bernie Rubin earlier today. I know, it's so sad. Lisa says, you don't know how hard it is for me now to be away from my individuals in my CBDS program. To relate to people who are in crisis right now is difficult. Yeah, my sister's doctor mentioned to her to make sure to use mosquito spray and check for ticks. What, when you're going outside now? We're already having tick issues? Great, we have one more thing to worry about. When are the locusts and the volcanoes going to erupt? Dan says, this too shall pass. We will all get through this. Stay safe now, party later. Keith says, still no cable, been out since 6:30. Recovery's still going on. It's hard for me where I live in a new city and I can't go anywhere and my family lives 50 minutes away. That's Irene. Yeah, exactly. Like, that's the stuff I'm talking about. You know, it's, I just touched my face again. Ooh, face police. But you just, I guess the only thing, the hardest part is to say, like, you know, I'm sad today or something. And I've told you guys that, like, I had a bad day today, or I didn't sleep well last night, or whatever. And it's like, you know, I guess you just have to be self-aware and honest enough and for some people brave enough to be able to just be like, you know what, I need help. Oh, that's a good question. Billy wants to know what my bracelets are. All right. I have some bracelets that I never take off, and if I do take them off, it's not for very long. Again, I'm a sentimental person. I'll show you. This bracelet right here is a bracelet that was given to me by a Gold Star wife. Specialist Chris Horton was a National Guard soldier and an Army sniper who was killed on the 9th of September 2011 in Paktia, Afghanistan. So he was killed while I was there. I was not there, but while I was in Afghanistan, he was killed in action. He happened to go to sniper school with some of the guys I was embedded with. And I had the great honor of meeting his wife at his gravesite at Arlington National Cemetery. And she gave me one of his bracelets that used to be black, and obviously it's all worn now, but I wear it all the time. This bracelet was given to me by someone from the National Guard when the war started. And they gave these bracelets out, and they were numbered. And the numbers were supposed to correspond with a National Guard soldier. And this one, the numbers, like you can barely see it in there, but it's in there. And so I was given this. It says honoring an American hero serving in the Army National Guard. And so every one of these bracelets had a number that was supposed to correspond with someone that was deployed from the National Guard. And so I've been wearing this bracelet since the Iraq War started. And I never took it off. I never found out the soldier that had the corresponding number that this was supposed to represent. But I always said I would stop wearing it when the war was over. And I don't know when that war is ever going to technically be over per se, so I just never took it off. And then this bracelet right here, I'm going to need a visual for this. Hold on. I tweaked my back yesterday in the garden. Hold on. I will get the visuals that go along with the other bracelet that I'm wearing. Okay. So this bracelet that I wear right here, that has a gold ribbon on it, I bought it in Washington, D.C. at the Smithsonian. And it was in the Museum of American History. And I bought it when I was in D.C. Sorry, I just scratched my face again. There's a whole story that goes with it, and I'll tell you the story. But if I start crying, I warned you. When I was in Afghanistan, my producer Mike and I were invited to go to, I believe it was Bagram, to the military hospital, because there was a soldier from Massachusetts that was being sent home because one of his soldiers had gotten shot. And so all of the guys in the unit donated blood. And this soldier that I was going to visit gave blood because one of his buddies was shot. And they tested the blood, obviously, and his blood levels came back weird. And so they sent him to the hospital to get checked out, and they did a bunch of tests on him, and come to find out he had cancer and was diagnosed with cancer while he was deployed in Afghanistan, going out on foot patrols every day. And so they were sending him home for treatment. So he was a National Guard soldier, and his brother, I believe, was active duty Army and was somewhere else in Afghanistan. And so they had invited me to go and sit with him and hang out with him before his flight home for treatment. And he was really good friends with a lot of the guys that I was embedded with. And all of those guys that I was embedded with in Kabul weren't allowed to go and visit him. And word had kind of gotten out that this soldier was being sent home because he was sick. And so I felt honored to be able to go and to sit with him before he got sent home. And so all of my guys were saying like, oh, will you please, tell him we love him and find out what's going on and whatever. So Mike and I took a helicopter and we went and sat with him at the hospital. And we were expecting him to be laying in a hospital bed and to be sick looking and, whatever. And he met us. We were with, the sergeant major and the commander and, walked in and he was in uniform and standing at attention. And so we talked for a while and he was asking us to tell funny stories of the guys that we were embedded with because he knew all of these guys and whatever. So then we came home from Afghanistan and, I was calling, trying to, keep tabs on him. While we were at the hospital in Afghanistan, he was given his Bronze Star and his End of Service Medal, and they had a big formation. We took pictures together. I gave him one of the AAF to Afghanistan t-shirts. We made t-shirts in Iraq, and I was told after our trip that everyone that we met that we gave t-shirts to came home alive. And so when we made the trip to Afghanistan, we said, well, we have to make t-shirts because the guys that we met in Iraq consider these t-shirts good luck. So we made the t-shirts for Afghanistan. And so we were at the hospital and we were joking with him and he was like, well, I get my t-shirt, right? And we were like, yeah, of course. And so anyway, so we took pictures, we gave him his t-shirt, and then when we got home, we kept tabs on him, and he was, getting treatment and whatever. And he passed away from cancer within 6 weeks of coming home. And all of his friends that I was embedded with in Afghanistan obviously couldn't come home to go to the funeral. And they didn't bury him right away because he had cancer and they weren't going to bury him until after the new year at Arlington. And so I think they were maybe doing some research or whatever to see if maybe his cancer was service related, or I'm not exactly sure what happened, but he didn't get buried until after the new year. And my guys that I was embedded with were still overseas. And so my guys asked me if I would go to his funeral for them because they couldn't be there and they wanted someone to represent them at the funeral to be able to pass along their condolences to his family. And so I did that. And so I took the day off from work. My mom and my sister took the day off with me. And we flew to DC for the day. And the funeral was in the afternoon at Arlington. And so we landed at the airport and we took the subway and went to a couple of the museums during the morning while we were waiting for the services to end, or the services to happen in the afternoon. And so we went to the Museum of American History and I bought this bracelet that I have worn every day since. And I wear it for Sergeant Grace, who I was honored to meet in Afghanistan. I have his button here too. His dad was a Vietnam veteran. His brother is in the Army as well, a proud serving family. And to be asked by a bunch of guys that you just met, that you didn't know, you spent a few weeks with, and then they ask you to go on their behalf to go to the services of someone that they care about and served with and loved and lost, was very powerful for me. And I bought the bracelet that day because I wanted to remember that day. And I wanted to be able to have that as a reminder for me. And so I wear the bracelet every day. Sorry. And so I'll tell you the funny part of the story, because why wouldn't I have a funny part of a funeral story? So because my mom and my sister and I flew down for the day to DC, we didn't have a car. And so we took the train back to Arlington to go to the funeral. And they had the funeral mass in one of the chapels. If you've ever been to Arlington, there are a couple little chapels that are on the outskirts of the actual cemetery. And so we went to the services, and then they had the funeral procession down to section 60, which is the section that they were placing all of the post 9/11 casualties of Iraq and Afghanistan were all together in section 60. And there is an app for the Arlington National Cemetery that allows you to find the grave of someone you're looking for based on their name or their birthday, or you can search for the grave number, because every one of those stones, if you've never been to Arlington, has a serial number on the back that starts with the section number. And then that way it makes it easier to find people because there's so many graves there. Well, the internet and the cell service in Arlington National Cemetery was not very good. And my mom and my sister and I left the chapel and were walking to the gravesite. And the walk was a little bit further than we had anticipated. And we should have probably coordinated a ride because we were afraid that we were going to miss the graveside service. And as we were walking, I was following the app and the map, trying to figure out where the hell we were going. And we couldn't find it. And now I was starting to get upset because we flew all the way down there to go to this service. And then I didn't want to miss the graveside service. We had gone to the chapel. So we saw a building, and I was like, all right, well, let's go over to that building and we can ask for directions. And so we go over to this building, and all of a sudden this blacked out Suburban pulled up. And this guy with aviators and an earpiece and a suit got out and was like, excuse me, ladies, you can't be here. And we were like, oh, we're really sorry. He's like, this is a restricted area. And we're like, we're really sorry. We were just, trying to get directions. We're lost in the cemetery and we're trying to find section 60. And he said, well, this is the private entrance for the sentinels for the tomb of the unknown soldier. And the guy that stopped us was in the Secret Service. And we were trespassing. And we're probably lucky that we didn't get shot. We just were looking for someone to give us directions because we were like, I was panicked that we were going to miss the service at the cemetery. And he said, why are you looking for section 60? And I said, well, we flew down from Boston to go to this funeral service and we were just at the chapel. And he said, are you attending a funeral today? And I said, yes. And he said, then ma'am, it would be my great honor if I could escort you to the gravesite. And he opened up the Suburban and put me and my mom and my sister in his Secret Service blacked out Suburban, and he drove us to the gravesite of Sergeant Grace. Now, the funny part of that story is that the services at the gravesite hadn't started yet, and the Adjutant General from Massachusetts and all of the big wigs from the Mass Army National Guard were there, and I believe there were also some politicians from Massachusetts. And I arrived with a security detail from the Secret Service, and they all thought that this was like my security detail, and I looked like I was ballin'. Like I pulled up in a stretched out Suburban with a driver and a private security detail and a fancy suit. And in fact, it was a Secret Service agent because I was trespassing at the private secure entrance of the tomb of the unknown soldier. But they didn't know that at the time. They just were like, holy crap, who the hell does Mistress Carrie know? Because she's balling right now. Like I looked like a Kardashian arriving gravesite. And we still laugh about that. I mean, if anybody's going to find a way to crack a joke at a funeral, it's going to be me. And So I never found out the name of that Secret Service agent, but he was my hero that day because we had gotten so lost that I never would have made the services. We spent the day at the gravesite and then we flew home, and I was able to get a bunch of the prayer cards for the guys that couldn't make it home for the funeral. And so obviously when they all got home, I was able to give them all that. And so the long-winded answer to the person who asked about my bracelet is that's what that is. So the bracelets all have sentimental value to me, again, because I'm a sentimental person. But I wear them as a reminder about, what's important. And, they're just always there. And most of the time it's like I just don't even notice that they're there anymore because I just never take them off. So they're just part of me now. But I know that they jiggle and whatever. Sometimes when I get really dressed up, I'll take them off or whatever if I have to go to like a military ball or something. But most of the time I just leave them on. But yeah, that one with the bow there, that's for Sergeant Grace. So thank you for asking, but I'm sorry I got all sad and mushy on you. But that's the long-winded answer to the short question of tell us about your bracelets. So there you go. But there are pictures in the AAF to Afghanistan album on my Facebook page of that day that I met Sergeant Grace. And I gave his family at the memorial service a disc that had all of the pictures because I was there taking his picture during his award presentation for his Bronze Star and all of that. And obviously his family wasn't there to see it. So I gave his family all of the pictures as well. And they're just a really sweet, amazing family. And it was my honor to be there. And for my guys to ask me to go on their behalf was pretty special for me. So if we could cheers to Sergeant Grace, I would love that. Thank you. So there you go. That's the story now that I got you all sad, except for the part about the Secret Service agent almost arresting me backstage at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. Sorry about that. So there you go. There's my story for the night. So you're up to about 10 things in the war room tonight. I know, Eric, right? You guys asked me questions and I'm answering them for you. So tomorrow I'm giving blood. I will get more information on blood donations in your area, and we'll get a bunch of other details for you tomorrow. So I will report back tomorrow night about that. What's up, Mark? We've got to say what's up to all of the Patriot Guard riders. I rode several times with you guys, and you guys are amazing people. So thank you guys for what you do. Always end on a high note, Will says. Yeah, exactly. So I will get all the information about blood donation for you guys tomorrow. And otherwise, follow my advice. Don't touch your face. No, I'm just kidding. Don't lick anything strange. Wash your damn hands. Stay safe. Stay positive. Ask for help if you need it. Small gestures, nice things that you can do for other people, even though you think they may be small and insignificant, they are not. So do them. Stick together. Help out where you can. Tell those that you love them, because there are a lot of people right now that are being admitted into the ICUs and being intubated that may or may not ever be able to tell their loved ones that they love them ever again. So while you're hanging out with me at night, just make sure that the people in your life that mean the most, make sure that they know it. Call them and tell them. Send them letters and cards and text messages, or just tell them that you love them, because we could use a lot more of that love in the world right now. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Stay safe. I love you guys. Stay healthy. I'll see you tomorrow. Good night.